The man at the gallery told me I couldn't possibly understand the painting in front of us. I painted it. I was standing in the Morrison Gallery downtown, staring at a piece I'd created 6 years ago, during the worst period of my life. The painting was called Winter Morning, and I'd finished it 3 weeks after my sister died. I'd sold it for $800 to pay for her funeral flowers. Now it was hanging in a prestigious gallery with a price tag of $75,000. The man next to me had been talking for 5 minutes about the brushwork and color theory, explaining it to his companion like he was some kind of expert. He was maybe 50, expensive suit, gray hair slicked back, the kind of person who probably attended gallery openings just to hear himself talk. Then he said it. The average person couldn't possibly grasp the emotional depth here. The artist was channeling something beyond typical human experience. You really need to have studied art history to appreciate work at this level. I turned to look at him, and something about my expression made him pause mid-sentence. I painted this, I said quietly. His face went through several emotions in quick succession: confusion, disbelief, then something that looked almost like panic before settling into a condescending smile. I'm sure you'd like to think so, but this piece is by an established artist. It's been authenticated and everything. I pointed to the bottom right corner where my signature should have been. That's my signature. My name is Kate Murphy. I painted this in January 2019 inches, my apartment in Brooklyn. The man's companion, a younger woman in her 30s, pulled out her phone and started typing. The man himself was staring at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. The gallery listing says the artist is Catherine Morris, he said slowly. Not Murphy. My stomach dropped. I stepped closer to the painting, and that's when I noticed the first detail that was wrong. The brush strokes in the upper left corner were different, smoother, more controlled than how I remembered painting that section. I'd done this piece in a frantic burst over 3 days, barely sleeping, and my technique had been rough, emotional, imperfect. But this looked refined, like someone had gone over my work and corrected it. I checked the signature again. It said K. Morris in handwriting that looked similar to mine, but wasn't quite right. The second stroke on the M was too curved. I always made it angular. The woman with the phone looked up. Catherine Morris died in 2021, she said. There's an obituary here. Says she was a reclusive artist who only sold a few pieces before her death. Her work has been increasing in value ever since. I felt dizzy. I'm not dead. I'm standing right here, and my name is Murphy, not Morris. The man was backing away slightly, and the woman had this look on her face like she was watching something she shouldn't be seeing. I pulled out my phone and searched for Catherine Morris artist. The first result was a gallery website with a photo of a woman who looked nothing like me. Different hair, different face, but similar age. The biography said she'd worked primarily in oils, lived alone, died of an aneurysm at age 32. Beneath that were photos of her paintings, and I recognized every single one. The landscape I'd done of the park near my old apartment. The still life I'd painted of my sister's coffee cup the morning after she died. The portrait series I'd worked on for months before selling them all for almost nothing because I was 3 months behind on rent. All of them were attributed to Catherine Morris. All of them were listed as sold for 5 figures or higher. The man was on his phone now, speaking quietly to someone. Security, probably. The woman asked if I was okay, but her voice sounded far away. I was scanning through more images, more paintings I'd created, all credited to a dead woman I'd never heard of. Then I found something that made my blood run cold. A photo from a gallery show in 2020. Catherine Morris standing next to one of her paintings, smiling for the camera. Except it wasn't Catherine Morris in the photo. It was my old landlord's daughter, Amanda, the one who'd helped me sell my paintings when I was desperate for money. The one who'd said she knew a dealer who worked with emerging artists. The one who'd taken every piece I'd ever created and promised to find them good homes. That's when I realized what had really happened to all my work. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below.